Yes. Everybody just deleted this episode.
Yeah, it's already gone.
We're out.
All right, what's the government want to throw at us today?
High quality data sets.
Oh, good for them.
They're saying that they're critically important for training many types of AI systems. So what is first of all, what is a high quality data set and who rates this?
Who determined the quality? A high quality data set is one where the government's saying, does it respect an individual's rights? Well, first of all, that's hilarious.
Right.
And then the second part is it identifiable enough that it gives us like enough granular information and who that person actually is, but respecting their rights for us to enhance our algorithms.
Yeah, it's curious to me because the federal government has, here in New Mexico we have 2 labs that are kicking and working in this arena.
Yeah.
And their artificial intelligence, I imagine, even just, 10 miles from us?
Yeah.
If that. Probably 5 miles.
Probably 5.
That artificial intelligence probably blow our mind.
Yeah. I mean, we got a couple, one or two quantum computers.
Yeah.
They're super cold.
I've seen pictures and they're fucking huge.
They're huge because you got to keep
the rooms
ice
and,
cold
yeah.
and like all the blades and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, what they do an analysis. What was the guy told me once? He said, "Yeah, we got a computer that does one thing. It just runs one calculation all day long." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, but if you put that calculation, if you want to do it on a regular machine, they take you 11 years just to do it once." He said this thing does it thousands of times a day. And I'm like, "What?
Okay,
what are you processing?"
Yes.
What is it you're actually analyzing?
Well, they're processing high quality data sets of our information. because they want to train their AI system, because any government knows, and I would imagine, because Russia's full bore into this, but any government knows that the more high quality data they have on their citizens, or we can call them, this could be
subjects,
like
it's the British Empire.
the more that they have the ability to make educated control decisions.
It's just control.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
It just boils down to control.
So federal agencies, which I don't know how many federal agencies there are in the United States here, probably hundreds.
There's got to be so many.
Federal agencies continue to pursue efforts to increase access to data. Of course.
Okay.
They're going to go full bore. While this article says, but this is from AI.gov, so this is their own hit piece.
Yeah.
This is their own them.
They're just spewing their own news media.
While maintaining safety, security, civil liberties, privacy.
I love it. They got the Patriot Act they put in place, but we're going to maintain civil liberties and privacy.
With your data.
Oh, yeah.
And confidentiality protections.
Oh, cool.
I've never had a piece of paper come in the mail from the IRS or anybody that said, "Hey, we had a data breach," or "Hey, we just wanted to let you know we have this personal information." So this confidentiality protections, I've never experienced that.
I've had no sensation of that ever.
No.
Hold on. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I just checked.
But it's amazing to me how they put the words. This is very important. People don't realize this. Words are very important when we know that. But number 2, the order of the words.
Yeah, can you
while maintaining safety?
Yeah. Okay, safety first. So you know why they did that? Because you can just wave your safety flag and then all rights go out the door.
Yes.
We're doing this for public safety. We're doing this for national safety.
Yes. That's what I was saying. This is
I know.
Waving your rights.
We're not that dumb.
Security is the next one.
Oh, see? Well, safety's first because that gives us our security.
Yes.
Oh, but I'm glad you own that land. Here's some eminent domain. We got to take it back. That's
I was watching. I don't know if you've gone up so far to where
Yellowstone.
I
knew you were going to say that
with the airport.
Oh yeah. We just want to throw an airport in the middle of your land. Well, how would you do that? Oh, eminent domain. We just have the government take it back from you. So I never really own anything. That's great.
Yeah, and that's in Montana. Safety, security. Here we go. Civil liberties.
Oh, civil. Okay, so my civil liberties. This is great. They come third.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more than that. Like, whenever you look at civil liberties and data, so because civil liberty, that would be good to look the definition of civil liberty. So whenever I think of civil liberty, I think it's the ability of the people together And this is what this great experiment the United States is called. It's the ability of the people together to be able to experience in their own way, as long as they're being civil, to be able to have a freedom, and thus we have freedom of speech, and we have,
you're kind of close, but this is hysterically. I don't even know why they put that in there. I'll tell you why.
Right.
Fundamental individual rights, such as freedom of speech and religion, especially as protected from excessive government intrusion. So, 1, security. 2, safety. Both of those are government intrusion.
Yes.
Then we'll worry about whether or not we've stepped too far as the government, because we're going to focus on civil liberties.
Yeah, and civil liberties, that's what I'm saying. Civil liberties to me seems as it's like, how are you with data? How are you going against my civil liberties? Why is that supposedly a concern with your AI systems?
Because data is people work, right? They put that together. Those are their thoughts. It's the same thing as freedom of speech. Your data is. What you choose to do with it, where you choose to put it, how you think and assemble, organize, or worship said data is your right. So that's why the government has to state that, because the data is, frankly, this mirror of who you are as a human being.
Well, and when I also think of civil liberties, I'm reminded of back in the day whenever and we had talked about this before, but printing presses, and then people trying to centralize knowledge.
All the time.
So whenever I think of an AI system, what is that AI system going to be doing? It's going to be taking away choice.
That's what that one's doing. The government wants only to take away choice. If I can understand the movement of my herds of people,
yes, then
I can control their flows. That's all they're interested in for safety and security.
So when we look at AI, so let's say that a government AI that has a program set of morals, maybe whatever, and then we look at civil liberties. So this is a artificial intelligence. It's an intelligence
taking over the role of the government.
Taking over the role of government so that they can make better, more informed decisions for themselves.
Only for the government's sake.
It's not for the people.
Why would you create a system that gives people more power? What's the famous line in V for Vendetta? People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. Why do you think the government's creating an AI?
Yes.
It's fucking shit scared of people. Why do you think governments try and control and police and beat people and take away their rights? Because they're shit scared of them all the time. They're just hanging around buildings with this facade of power.
Well, yeah, it's a facade.
And they are, think about what the SEC is trying to do with cryptocurrencies. Mm-hmm. We got to lock that shit down. Why? Because the people are gaining power from it.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't control it, they lose power. And then people step out of their paradigm of false power that they have. Governments were set up, especially in the United States, for the benefit of people.
Yes.
That's what the Constitution is saying. We're doing this for you. The people decide. But what happened to the power spectrum over time? All the laws, all the changes, all the amendments, boop, back into the government's power.
Well, I mean, the United States, if you talk to our founding forefathers, it's the original DAO.
It's the OG DAO.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, it's decentralized government. A lot of power was given even back then. A lot of power was given to the states.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government was not supposed to be big at all.
Yeah,
not even close to what it is.
All these individual sovereign states.
Yes.
And within those sovereign states, you had people which were sovereign entities.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you could carry a gun anywhere you wanted in the United States at that time. You were essentially a sovereign being, a part of these sovereign states. You were doing your own thing. But then we coalesced them together, right? Legislation did over time. And then it became the United States of America, also known as the United States Corporation. You can look up the documents. And then from that, you lost your sovereignty. Mm-hmm. That was no longer there. You're no longer the king or queen of your land. You didn't determine the rules. People then determined the rules for you.
For you, right, yeah.
It all inversed itself and then went to hell in a handbasket.
And that's civil liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Second is privacy. I mean, not second, but that's 1, 2, 3, fourth is privacy. So the federal government, especially here in the United States, is concerned about your privacy.
Is that the last one?
No.
Oh, so they put privacy second to last. Yeah, because they're always watching. The government came out with satellite. Well, you know who had ground penetrating radar?
Yes.
They put those machines over, it sees what's underground. They strapped that shit in satellites.
Yes.
They can look right through the walls of your house.
Oh yeah,
That's a stone cold fact.
the stuff that I saw when I was in the military in the 90s with the technology, this is the 90s. That's fucking 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the shit they have now. I mean, I couldn't even.
No.
You know, when you're a terrorist and you have a swarm of drones after you, and it's just following you and keeping track of, and then it's following that another swarm of small drones is following the people that you may interact with.
Yeah.
And they're just constantly 24/7. You just have drones flying over you and you don't even realize it.
You have no idea.
They
can look through your house.
Yeah,
they can look into the Earth's crust. There's no hiding anymore.
No. Privacy is out the window.
Yeah.
And we've done episodes on this with the face scanning and then how racist that was.
Oh yeah, we know how against human beings' rights that is, and so that's why, like, when you look using TARTLE, the encryptions we have, our systems are set up so the government can't even touch it. We can't even look at your data. We have to maintain those civil liberties, those human rights for those people. It's more safe for them to have control over the thing they create rather than the government determining what is safe for them.
Yeah, and then here's the last one. Are you ready?
The government nukes other countries. Yes. Like, why are they determining what's safe for us?
Yeah, they impose on. We're pretty good about imposing on free will.
Yeah, they do.
We learned that from our country that we came from.
Yeah.
The great
England.
imperialistic
British Empire. Look at our sphere of influence all over the globe.
Yeah, I was watching a whole program the other day about them coming into and creating plantations and stuff.
Yeah,
in like the middle of jungles.
All they wanted was slaves, economic trade, and more power. It's probably still one of the more powerful countries in the world.
Yeah, and then what was the African war? I forgot the name of it.
Against the Zulu tribe?
Yeah, that whole thing that they were playing back and forth. They were bringing like, it's the Boer Wars or something like that. Yeah, they were bringing, like, on the ships, they were bringing people that did opera. They were bringing big pianos.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, all the admirals.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute. Like, just going to war, these guys would have like white glove tables set up, butlers, and they're just 100%. Sitting on the edge of the battlefield, just watching what's going on.
Yes.
Like, what is happening?
Because they weren't. It wasn't anything about leadership or anything like that. It was just like, have the men go down there, but all the officers were just high up families.
That's all it was.
So it was the 1%, and you automatically, just because you were of a family, became
you're born
an admiral or became whatever, you know. So, and it was so interesting. They were talking about all the stuff they were putting on, like plays and shows for them, and
in the middle of the war.
Yeah, in the middle of a war.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And then, so last one is confidentiality protections, plural. Confidentiality protections.
Okay, we won't share it with anyone else. I don't even want you to have it in the first place. You're the United States government. I don't want to say that I'm confident in the United States government. Mm-hmm. I have zero trust in you. Your confidentiality bullshit is not something that I'm going to be like, oh, I feel so much better inside. How many times has the government just said, that we got to change this? It doesn't jive. They do it constantly throughout history. Why would I feel any sort of confidence in some sort of... I shouldn't have to agree to confidence with you. You should prove it through your actions. Mm-hmm. But you've given me no reason to have any instilled confidence in what you're doing.
Well, I mean, you could see that with what's happening now with... and it doesn't take anything that's... Whether it's a pandemic or... It doesn't matter. Whatever it is. It could be a war. It could be, like you said, with Patriot Act, mm-hmm. September 11, whatever. Any opportunity the government can use force to take more liberty,
they'll do it.
They're going to every single time.
If more of our life is transitioned into the digital,
mm-hmm.
what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
We know what our next battlefield is. Let's get more control of this. Think about how politics are swung back and forth and people are polarized through social media. Battlefields are not fought hand-to-hand combat anymore, or what have you, whatever you want to call it. It's literally all fought remotely and online.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting, and I don't want to belittle this too much for sake of time.
You mean belabor?
Belabor, yeah, there we go. Yeah, belittle it too.
Yeah, we can belittle the government.
They have all these, they have NASA, data.gov, which is really interesting. That's a kind of a cool website. NIH-supported open data repositories, limited access data repositories, NIST science data portal, patent and trademark data sets. This is what I thought was interesting. You would never think this. The NOAA big data program.
Yeah, NOAA. Yeah. They study weather.
But here's what they do with it.
What do they do?
The NOAA, this is the government admitting this. Listen to this. Generates tens of terabytes of data per day.
Just capturing weather data?
Tens of terabytes of data per day.
So
From satellites,
yeah.
radars, ships, weather models, and of course, the government says, and other sources.
Yeah, what are the other sources? What's the other stuff? What is NOAA actually analyzing?
That's what I'm saying. Are they analyzing the ships?
No. What happens is you watch.
I mean, the ships have like satellites on them and stuff like that.
But you watch how ships go back and forth to port, so they can see what the flows of merchant goods are.
Yeah, and so they have this huge commercial cloud platforms of this NOAA data.
Yeah, NOAA.
And so it's the NOAA big data. But I was beginning to think about that. Okay, here's one department of the U.S. government that's generating tens of terabytes of data every single day, 24/7, 365 days. These things don't rest. Tens of terabytes.
And
Dude, that's a shitload of data.
I know, but the one thing they don't have are people's minds. That's the one thing they want to get control over. And I know that sounds so fucking Matrix, but the second they start stepping into the realm of the personal data you create, they have it all. And you should not allow them to do that unless you freely and willingly choose to share it with the United States government through the TARTLE marketplace.
It would be interesting if we created our own little weather pattern right now.
Fucking make a weather pattern.
Right NOAA satellites would be like, what's going over there?
Yeah, we should make a machine that's just like spewing out like some sort of chemical in the air. We're just creating clouds.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
They'll be like, oh, what's happening over here
It's
now?
an anomaly.
There's something weird going on.
You and I get black bagged in a second.
Oh, yeah. Just like, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, who are they?
Zip tied,
No
black
idea.
bag, thrown in the back of a bus.
No idea.
They go.
Yeah.
What happened to the TCAST podcast? Our 3 listeners would be like really upset. Our global 3 listeners.
They'd have to go send in a request through whatever that thing is to the government. Can you release this information?
Yeah, and so speaking of our podcast, our sponsor, TARTLE.co. Let's end it with that.
Yeah, TARTLE.co, a marketplace that respects your security, privacy, civil liberties, and you should have albeit confidence that we are not going to touch your data because we can't even see it.
And we don't give a fuck about your safety. That's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be responsible.
You want to
If you want to be irresponsible,
if you want to jump off a cliff with those cool wingsuits,
like those squirrel suits,
most of those people die.
they don't do very well. They don't fare well.
I think
They banned
they
those,
said
didn't
the guy that because the guys that are actually flying are the ones that improve the suits. Like they actually do the sewing and improve the suits. The guys that actually fly.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone that commercial yet. And there's been 14 updates on these wingsuits. And every single person that's updated them, those 14 that's updated, all are dead.
That's crazy. Yeah, have you seen how they like cut through the rocks and stuff?
Oh,
you got me off on a tangent. Point is here, we can't make the choice for you here at TARTLE.
No.
We can offer you a solution, a tool for you to use so you can maintain your civil liberties. You maintain your rights. You maintain confidence in your own actions, not other people telling you should be confident in them.
And if the government wants to have tens of terabytes of data coming into their system every day,
they can buy it from people. Then.
They can buy it from TARTLE, and then it's the right way. It's you're maintaining their security, civil liberties, privacy, and confidentiality protections by buying the data.
Show the people which you govern why they should trust you.
Yes.
You know,
it's that simple.
Or even give us some fake trust. You know, like it'd be great. Really appreciate it. See you later.